Good afternoon, my family. So, my name is Carrie, and welcome to Parton's Heritage Homestead. Today is going to be actually a difference. We are going to be in our kitchen, only I have talked to you a while back when I said that I was going to actually show everybody how to use what we grow or what we use or raise on the farm. Today is going to be that. I'm not sure it's going to be much of a recipe, but I am going to be putting together a Mediterranean meal for both me and my husband. Yes, things are improving slightly. Going on 4 weeks this week. Next week we go back to the dentist and I start getting ready to prepare for my permanent. I do have sores that I'm dealing with, so that's been kind of rough. But last night, I've been craving a hamburger, y'all. So my husband made me one. Bless his heart. And look, they're not good, but I know how to convert a Whopper like nobody's business to make it healthier. So that's exactly what I did. And then I made the flat buns out of fresh home milled flour. So I had a whole grain bread with a charbroiled burger. And how I ate it isn't like your normal. I couldn't eat it like most people with your hands and bite into it. I used a fork and a knife, but you know what? I ate it. I was super happy. And I had some air fried sweet potato fries. Those were so good, and I sprinkled them with feta cheese. Yum! So we're getting better. Now that I'm being able to eat my own food, this is what we're working on. The other night we also had my Mediterranean garlic and Parmesan cannellini beans. That was amazing. So tonight we are going to have, I'm going to show you some of the things that we have around here that we're going to turn into a Mediterranean meal. Wholesome, healthy, and a lot of flavor. We are going to serve a side with our home canned butter beans. Remember, these were our large lima beans, but they call them butter beans. We are going to be using this. Now, the recipe is from Spain on a fork. However, I'm changing the recipe a bit and using what I had on the farm that we grew ourselves. So, what that is these are going to be garlic butter beans with spinach, only I'm changing the spinach to young, freshly picked kale that we raised on our own farm. So, and I cannot wait. Y'all, this is amazing. So I just freshly picked these. We cleaned them and they're sitting in the water to stay fresh until I'm ready to use them. I am also making and roasting 2 Cornish hens. That is going to be our protein, and we're going to use Mediterranean flavors to coat these Cornish hens with. We're going to put it in our white roasting pan and we're going to roast them in the oven. Now, the herbs that I'm using mainly are going to be fresh. I have homegrown rosemary and homegrown thyme. Don't have enough, so we're going to be growing some more of these really quickly. I'm going to be making a rub for these little birds, and then we're going to roast them and let them roast slowly for the rest of the day. I'm going to be using some fresh lemons, so that's going to be added to our flavor. And we have all of that salad. Now, I found a way that I can eat it. It's not the healthiest to add iceberg lettuce, but I found that if I chop my fresh lettuce, mix it with a little bit of iceberg. Now, I cannot eat it like most people. I have to really cut mine. Not babyfied, but I do have to cut it to eat it. I don't care how I'm able to. I'm going to do what it takes to put that nourishment back in my body because I need it. I want it. My body, seriously, I never thought I could crave this bad, but I have. So we're going to have our side salad with it as well. I have some farm fresh chickens, the eggs that I hard boiled, and we have some beets. I'm going to be making some beet vinegar so I can pickle some of our eggs, and then some of that broth that's left over, just from the beets itself, I'm going to use it to color our eggs with and add that to our salad. So I may even fry up some of those beets and have that on the side as well, because we're not going to let that go to waste. So again, this isn't really much of a recipe, but you're going to come into our kitchen, you're going to see and visualize what it's like to walk from farm fresh, which I had already picked, so you didn't get to see that part, but you get to see how I use it, and hopefully it will trigger some ideas to the rest of you to know what can I do with what I grow. So let's get started. Okay, my family, so let's go ahead and make our rub first, and I am actually going to add an ingredient to this. I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of my Greek Mediterranean seasoning to this. Yeah, we got 2 birds, so I'm going to add a teaspoon of it. It ain't going to hurt nothing. Just add some more intense flavor, which this stuff tastes amazing. Now we're going to add an entire lemon zest in here. And I'm actually going to use the lemons inside of it as well. I'm going to take a clove, or you can add as much garlic. I'm actually going to use 2, but the recipe has just 1 clove of garlic. Like I said, I'm making it my own. That's why I said it's not really much of a recipe, because this is what I do. I'll take something and I'll make it my own, to my own flavors, and adapt it to what we have growing on the homestead. And that's the reason why I said when I did the videos, I will show you how I use what we do, from the canned good pantry to what we grow in the garden. Okay, so we're going to use all the bits of these as much as possible. Clean this out real good. I'll clean this out and we'll be right back. Okay, now we got this. Now we got our garlic over here, and we are going to take our sprigs of thyme. This is about maybe 6 young thyme, so the stems are not even woody yet. So when that is like it, we're just going to fold them over and just use the whole entire thing, stems and all. It ain't going to hurt you to do that. It just adds more flavor, just like you would in parsley that's young. We're just going to do this finely. Let me come back through here, make sure this is all cut up. And now I'm going to add that to our rub mix for our birds. Oh, this smells so divine, y'all. Ain't nothing like fresh, I'm telling you. Now we're going to do the same thing with our rosemary. Now these are really fresh, but some of this bottom is a little bit more tougher in the woody side, so I'm going to go so far, find my soft, which is right there. I'm going to chop that part off. That's going in my compost, and the rest is going to get chopped up and added to our rub. So again, I'm going to bring this in on itself, fold it in, and we're just going to come in here, mince this up really fine, just like so. As you can see that. Again, I'm going to come back, mince it up really good, make sure I have it all blended up well. And then we're going to add that to our rub. Oh man, y'all, the flavors balance to this is amazing. Alright, now we're going to be using some smoked paprika to this flavor. It has a smoky, like I could think of Spain or Egypt, for that matter, in the Mediterranean world. So, ooh, lordy, don't want that much. We're using about a teaspoon, y'all. Don't go crazy like I just did. So we're going to add, you can use Spanish paprika, smoked, regular sweet paprika, any kind that you choose. Now I'm going to also add about 2 teaspoons of sea salt. Now I'm going to actually do mine a little bit different. I am actually going to be adding, it's a sea salt, but I'm going to be adding some black truffle oil to mine just to give it an enhanced little bit more flavoring. And I'm only going to use 1 teaspoon. Now I'm going to add some pepper to this, about 1/2 teaspoon of ground pepper. The rest of my 2 teaspoons of salt, I'm going to actually sprinkle the inside and the outside of my bird. And now we're going to add about 4 tablespoons of olive oil to this. Pretty much just, you can't go wrong with olive oil, just saying. And then we're just going to mix this up really good and create a paste. I'm going to taste the flavor, make sure I have enough salt balance. Oh my, oh my, oh my. That's, ooh, lordy, that tastes good. Alright, y'all. That is our rub. Now let's get our Cornish hens ready. Okay, so now we're on our Cornish hens. Now we did dry the inside and outside of our Cornish hens. I rinsed them off really good. And so now I'm going to take the back of the wings. I'm going to tuck them in behind. That's not always easy to do, but we're going to do our best here. And tuck that back there. And once I get these in here, I'm going to coat them with my rub and then take our legs and we're going to tie these legs off. Just like so. That way they're going to hold in our pan. So we will be right back. Okay, y'all. So now I'm going to have to, I just got to tell you, I was sitting here trying to adjust this, and quality and things, y'all, really makes a difference. Sometimes we just can't afford the quality, and sometimes we're going to pay expensive prices just to have something like this happen. I was trying to adjust my camera for you, and well, the handle broke to my adjuster. So we're going to make do with this. I got this. Alright, so now, and I put my birds in here because I have a issue with having poultry or any meat on my boards too long. So I washed those off right quick and put them in here. So now what I'm going to do is take our beautiful marinade basically, and I'm going to put this on each inside and outside of our birds, and then we're going to rub this in. Oh my gosh, y'all, these are going to be nice. These are going to be very, very nice. So I'm just going to rub this in, and I'm going to make sure I'm not adding any more salt, as this really has enough salt. So I'm just going to rub this in really well. I still have some of this left over, so we're going to use all of it. I'm going to make sure I get some of this inside the center. And I'm trying to divide this between both birds, front and back here. Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness, yes. See, you don't have to have a whole lot to make an amazing meal, and that's basically what I'm showing you. Self-sustainability or Mediterranean. Mediterranean really is nothing but wholesome foods, flavor. A flavor balance that's beyond anything you've ever basically had before. And it's nutritious because a lot of it is nothing but fresh. It's nothing but fresh food. So, I'm just going to finish this. I'm going to be tossing these gloves out anyways. So, alright. Now, we have our birds. Now I'm going to take my strings. Now I am actually using, I don't have any twine, baking twine, so I'm actually using cotton thread or yarn. It works. So now I'm going to cut or tie my legs together here, just to hold everything in as much as possible. I'm just going to do a little loop right here to make it easier to pull when I'm done. And there's one. And we're going to go with number 2. Come on, little baby. Dress you up. Put that down there. Bow tie it up. And we have some pretty birds. Now, with that same lemon that I zested, I'm just going to put slices, oh lordy, of lemon on top of these. Just like that. Now, we're going to put our lid on it. Pop these off. Put my lid on it. And we're going to pop this in the oven until they reach the internal temp of 165 into the breast. And we will be right back. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to actually be putting together my beet brine. And I started doing this and I thought maybe I'll share it with you. So I used fresh beets. I allowed the beets, after slicing them, to simmer where I have the juice. So I currently have 1 cup of beet juice in here, a half a cup of water, 3 cloves of whole cloves, 1 bay leaf, a half a teaspoon of salt, and I got a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. And I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of sugar. However, I'm using monk fruit golden. It doesn't matter what sugar you use. I'm using a sugarless base, basically. So I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground allspice. And then I'm just going to heat this up, y'all. When I do, I'm going to add it to 8 hard-boiled eggs. And that's it. Now I'm just going to mix this up. We're going to heat it. We're not going to boil it. We're just going to make sure that it's heated through. And it says to add 2 to 4 cloves of garlic. So I'm going to be adding 2 cloves of garlic to this. I'm going to slightly mash them and just leave them whole. So I'll just show you what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to cut the casings or the ends off so the casings will come off once I smash it. And I don't have to add these to my jars. I can just basically get the flavor from it and then take them, pull them out. There's my one, and now we're going for my second one. Again, we're just popping them, take the papering off of them, pop them in here. I'll mix this up and then we're going to heat it, and once it's heated I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, y'all, so I had already pre-done my eggs. These are farm fresh eggs from last night. So I had already boiled them, peeled them, so they're ready just to be put in my jar. I am also going to add a small amount of sliced onion to this jar. I'm just going to kind of layer my onions in there with my eggs. This is a quart jar. Just like so. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I actually have 9. Let's see if I can push it by putting 9 in this jar. Getting them all covered. So, like I said, I'm just waiting for this to heat up a little bit. Go ahead and finish off this onion just a little bit more. I can do that. Now, we'll wait for our brine and we'll be right back. Now, I will say that the recipe I'm using, what they used is canned beets. So, and the beets go inside the jar with the eggs. I eliminated the can. I used fresh. I'm using nothing but the juice. And so if I need to add any more liquid to this, I have the opportunity of adding some more beet juice or water to these. So that is an option, or you can just use a can of red beets. I will add the recipe to this if you're wanting to try it. And not a whole lot of people know to make red beet pickled eggs. They are really good to add, especially in Mediterranean food, because you get that beet flavor. And if, like I said, if I wanted to, I could take my cooked beets and add it to my jar. So we're gonna see. We've got 5 minutes, or a little, about 3 minutes to let this simmer. Then I'm going to let it cool down a bit, and then we're going to add it to our jar, seal it up, and we're going to refrigerate it for the next 2 days. Okay, y'all, so now we're just going to go ahead and add our stuff to everything that we put in here. I'm just going to add it to our jar, the bay leaf. Wow, we got people that love their music here, that's for sure. We're adding our garlic and the cloves and everything that was inside of this. Now I'm just going to pour this into my jar. We want to make sure that we cover up. Yeah, my pot's in the way, I know. I'm sorry, y'all. I just want to make sure, yep, we had just enough to cover. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, I am really not that great when it came to this. Sorry, y'all. Go ahead and move this bay leaf right here. This absolutely covered the top of our eggs. That's what I needed. And I'm going to shake this up a couple times. But for the next 2 days, this goes in the refrigerator. And we want to make sure that our eggs get covered. And we shake them up just a little bit so all of them get a nice even coat. That way we can get a good, beautiful coloring with our red beets and get that flavor into our eggs. That's it. Now I'm just going to take this beautiful jar and we're going to put it in the refrigerator, and we'll see about having some beet pickled eggs in about 2 days. Okay, so at this moment our Cornish hens are, we took the lid off of it, we're putting the coloring on top of them, they're just about finished. So the next step is we're going to do our garlic butter beans, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The recipe for this I will link to you because I'd like to give that gentleman, he is an amazing cook as far as Spanish food, so I'm just going to give him all the credit by just linking the recipe to you for that one. I will go ahead and write out the recipe to the rub for this if you wanted, for the Cornish hens, and I'll write out the recipe for the eggs if you want them too. So I have a nice glass of apple cinnamon tea with homegrown spearmint, and it is really, really good. I finished a whole half gallon by myself, so I got to make some more. So let's get started, and we're going to start our butter beans. Okay, y'all, so we are going to start out with a couple tablespoons of olive oil, about 2 tablespoons or so, into our pan. I am using Partanas if you're asking which kind I'm using. That's about 2 tablespoons, maybe just a little more. Now I'm going to bring this up to heat just a little bit, and I'm going to be adding about 8 cloves of garlic to this. Now my cloves are fairly large, so I don't exactly have 8, but what I have would equal out to about that much. So we're going to let this heat up just a little bit. Just as it starts to warm up, we're going to add our garlic, because all we want to do is just fragrant it. We don't want to burn this. So once this gets heated up, we'll be right back. Okay, so I want to make sure I drop that down just a tad bit. Now I'm going to start adding all of my garlic into here. And like I said, we're just going to add it so we can get the fragrance to the oil. You do not want to brown this. Yep, we got a garlicky situation here. Okay, let me get a knife. all of our insides out of here, because we want all of our garlic out of this one as well. I'm going to turn this down for just a minute until I get all this out of here. Well, it wants to stick really well. I know how to fix this. One other thing that always seems to work, it's a little brush that came with it. Now I see why they use it. I don't always use it because usually I don't have this much issue, but sometimes I do. So, there we go. There's all our garlic. Now, I'm going to get a spatula, mix this around real quick. Alright, now, at this point, we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our seasonings. We're going to add a half a teaspoon of dried thyme. And I should have had this stuff on hand. That should be over here. I got 3 different areas for my herbs, y'all. There we go. Dried thyme. Half a teaspoon of that. And I need about a 1/4 teaspoon of saffron threads. Fresh saffron. And if I can get my container to open here, I'm just going to grab a small pinch to equal out just about a 1/4 teaspoon. And then we're going to mix this up really well. Just like so. All we want to do is just add for the coloring and add that saffron flavor to this. Now we're going to add our drained butter beans, which we need about 20 ounces. I used two jars because I didn't fill them completely full with my butter beans. So I rinsed them, and these were home done. So this would be basically about the same amount as a 20-ounce can, or the ones they do in Spain, that is. I don't think we even get 20 ounces. So now I'm just going to mix this up really good in here. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of broth. Broth can be choice of vegetable, chicken, beef, whatever you choose. I'm going to be using our home canned, see again, our home canned broth. As you see, I'm showing you how to use the stuff that we do on the homestead. Now here's my broth. I'm going to add my 1 cup to it. Just about finished that one. And that's it. Now we're going to turn this on. We're going to let this simmer for a little bit. And we will be back as soon as this is done. And then we will be adding at that point, oh yeah, I need to season this with some salt and pepper as well. So I'm using Himalayan sea salt. This is salt and pepper to taste, y'all. What you prefer to do. I could even add some Aleppo pepper to this if I wanted to. My husband actually loves that pepper. Now, I'm going to mix this up. Now I'm going to simmer this for about 5 to 10 minutes. So, I'm going to go ahead, cover this up, and we will be right back. Okay, y'all, so now this is our roasted Cornish hens. You can see that, how absolutely beautiful is this. Now I'm just going to go ahead and let these rest. I'm going to cover it, keep them heated up. Hubby should be home from work before long, so we're going to set this aside and we're going to leave these be. And now we'll move and wait for our beans to finish, and we are almost done with this supper. Okay, unlike spinach, kale takes a little bit longer to tenderize, so, and even though these are young, we're chopping this, and what I'm going to do is halfway through cooking on this process, I'm going to add my kale so it can cook a little longer and wilt in our mix. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop my kale in here, mix it in there, let it wilt, and then finish off the rest. We need about 5 ounces. So, and normally you would not add your spinach if you use that, what was in the recipe, until after it's through simmering. But I'm going to go ahead and do it beforehand due to the fact, again, kale takes a little bit longer, even young, to cook. So, and I'm just going to gently mix these, and we will be back to let this cook the rest of the way. Wow, that looks so beautiful, y'all. Yeah, let me move you over here so you can see what I'm doing. That was kind of crazy. There we go. There. Sorry about that, y'all. So I added my kale in here a little at a time until it wilted some. And I'm just being gentle with these beans. And now, sorry, I had that on top of it, y'all. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cover this again and let it finish its simmering point, because it's cooking most of the liquids out of it. And if I find I need some more, I have just a small handful of kale left, I can just add the whole thing in here. So it's not going to hurt it, actually. As you can see, it cooks down fairly quickly. So, man, that's beautiful. Smells absolutely divine. Alright, so we'll be back. Alright, y'all, so some of this liquid has now been cooked down. It doesn't look like it, but if you mix this up, you can absolutely see it. So now, you can add lemon zest. I'm actually just going to add some lemon juice to this. And then I'm going to sprinkle this with my Parmesan cheese. Just like so. Alright. And that's it. Now I'm going to set this aside and get us ready for our side salad. And when I'm through, I will show you what supper looks like tonight. So, sounds like hubby's home as well. So we'll see what's going on here. So, I will be back shortly. Okay, y'all, so I am fixing up my salad, and this is my salad. I have to do it quite small, but hey, you know what? I'm not going to complain, because at least I can do something. These are those beautiful microgreens. Now, I am actually going to take a small portion of this. I didn't get to last time. I'm going to chop them up a little bit, and I'm going to add this to my salad. Last batch went to the chickens, and I want to taste it. So I'm going to do like my brother showed me. I'm going to use this flat surface of my tray over here, see if I can show you. I've got a flat knife. I'm just going to take a small portion of this, and I'm just going to come in here and just cut just a little bit off. That made it perfectly even. And I can sprinkle this, oh my goodness, sprinkle this into my salad. I'm looking forward to this, and you know what? I might get just a hair greedy and get some more. Sorry, y'all. I have been wanting this so bad. And now that I'm figuring out for now how to do this, this is what I choose to do. So I'm going to go ahead and add this. And I'm going to give hubby some of the sprouts. Next time I will say it was 15 ounces or 15 grams. And next time when I make these, and there will definitely be a next time because these are amazing, I will be adding the whole entire 15 ounces to this. So that's that. And now I'm going to go ahead and get the sprouts for hubby's salad, and we're going to plate up because supper's done, y'all. Okay, y'all, and these were the sprouts that we did. So that's going on top of hubby's salad right here. I may end up just chopping up just a little bit of this myself. I could get all the nutrients that I can, since my body was wanting this stuff so badly. So, okay. Now, let's go and get our plates done. Okay, y'all, so it's been a while since you've seen a finished plate on the homestead, but here we go. This was the kale and butter beans, Spanish style. These are our Cornish hens. Beautiful flavor, amazing. And then this is my chopped salad that I had to do so that I can eat it. Now I also just found out, so I added some small amount of radishes. If I do them really thin and small, I can actually eat my radishes too. I am learning, and I'm taking it one day at a time, y'all. So this is our Mediterranean dinner. I am fixing to go eat. Alright, y'all, that's it for the supper. I'm hoping I gave you some ideas, and while I continue to do so as our crops are coming in, I'm going to continue to keep making variety of meals on what we do on the homestead, how we store, what we do with our stored stuff, and how to incorporate it into a healthy Mediterranean way. This is Carrie. I love you all dearly. Until next time, much love from Parton's Heritage Homestead.